FPUC. Is it going to be retro? Is it not going to be retro? The debate is full storm ahead with the Purple Power. Hashtag FPUC retro. Hashtag LALATE. Hashtag Purple Power. Make the message very loud and clear that FPUC should be retro under the third stimulus package. In this video, I go over UI, PUA, and FPUC and explain what they are, how you get them, how you certify for benefits, how you do escalated benefits, and what is the concept of retro unemployment benefits. On overnight LA videos, enjoy this throwback video on unemployment. What is FPUC? Do you apply for FPUC? And why are viewers still getting confused about what is FPUC? Hey everybody, this is LALATE with a second stimulus check and stimulus package update today. Our third video of several. We're doing a lot of videos today. We have a bonus video later today answering your questions about the stimulus check as well. This video is about unemployment, FPUC, and PUA. Overnight, I got a lot of questions about people that was about FPUC, that's $600 from the federal government, and they seem to not understand what it is still. So I'm going to go over it with you because ultimately it is so important for you to know exactly what this thing is. I apologize that the federal government adopted these measures with words or abbreviations that sound so similar. I didn't write the law. And I know PUA, FPUC, FPEUC sound so darn similar that it's very easy to get one confused from the other. But it is so critically important for you to understand which one is for you and why you need to get them now if you are eligible, that I'm doing this video even more slowly than usual, starting right now. First, FPUC is a federal add-on to unemployment assistance and a federal add-on to PUA that was provided for you in the CARES Act. Before the CARES Act, before the pandemic, every state had unemployment assistance. It's for people who got laid off as an employee. Now, an employee is someone who works for someone like Macy's and gets a W-2. So if you, back last year, worked for Macy's and were laid off, you could go get unemployment assistance, UI, from your state by going to your state's unemployment website. A lot of viewers overnight are still asking me, where do I get these things? Where do I apply for them? Can you send me the link? No. You go to your state's unemployment website is where you apply for everything that I'm talking about in this video. So if you're in Massachusetts, you go to your Massachusetts unemployment website. If you're in Texas, you go to your Texas unemployment website. So that was what was going on before the pandemic hit. When the pandemic hit, members of Congress realized that they had a big problem about one group of people working out there: self-employed and independent contractors. If you're self-employed and independent contractor, you absolutely never can get unemployment assistance. The reason why is you are not an employee. You are self-employed. Now, it is so important for you to understand this next thing I'm going to explain to you. A lot of you have own businesses and your business employs you. That is not how they view the employment situations for purposes of unemployment assistance. So if you are Ron James and you also own Ron James Plumbing and Ron James Plumbing employs you as an employee, doesn't make a difference. You never could get unemployment assistance before this pandemic hit. So members of Congress said, we have a problem for the Roy Jameses out there that are plumbers, that are self-employed. They can't get relief. So in May, they passed the first stimulus package, which is called the CARES Act. And it created PUA, only for self-employed individuals. To this day, I'm still getting questions from people who are not self-employed saying, can I go get some PUA money for myself? No. PUA is for self-employed individuals. Independent contract. It is not for anyone. I have people who says, I didn't get my first stimulus check. Can I go get some PUA? No. I ran out of UI. Can I go get some PUA? No. PUA is for PUA and only for PUA. It is not for something else. You either get UI or you get PUA. In fact, PUA says you cannot get PUA if you're eligible for UI. You must be ineligible for unemployment assistance in order to get PUA assistance. All right, so that was that. The federal government also said we have another problem, and the problem is that people can live on the amount of money that states have allocated for them. How much money do states have allocated for you? Well, if you are on UI or if you're on PUA, you start at your base level benefits of your state per week, which is about 130 to 167 per week. No one in their right mind can live and survive on 130 to 167 per week. So the federal government in May, in the CARES Act, passed FPUC, which provides $600 on top of your UI benefits. $600 on top of your PUA benefits every week that you're impacted by COVID-19 from May to July. Now, please understand the following, and I say it almost every day, and yet I see them in the comments, which I'm going to be getting to in a second, some really great comments. People still don't understand. People are still getting these terms confused, which I understand. They are confusing. The $600 from the federal government is not PUA. The $600 from the federal government is not PUA. It's FPUC. Second, the $600 from the federal government is from the federal government. It's sent to you by your state, but it's a federal law and it's paid with funds from the federal government. So some people are dropping the comments, my state extended FPUC until December. No, they didn't. The $600 from the federal government is federal law and it expires in late July. No state can change the $600 from the federal government. So what's happening? Well, you have this financial cliff. The financial cliff is coming up in late July when $600 from the federal government, FPUC, expires. This channel is reporting that we believe that FPUC will get extended. The date that we think it's going to get extended is around August 7th. Moreover, we've been reporting that for weeks. Now mainstream news reporters, major news outlets have now verified LATE's reporting and suggest that a second stimulus package will be likely approved on August 7th. Why? Because members of Congress go on vacation again on August 8th or August 9th, and there is literally no more days to do it. Then they have to go back to their local jurisdiction, their local towns, and try to get their butts reelected. And so they are going to get a second stimulus package done then because there's no other time to get it done. Ultimately, those are the mechanisms. Now, finally, FPEUC, which is a little hard to say, is the extension of UI weeks. You have your normal UI weeks before this pandemic started. Then you have FPUC, which extended it for more weeks. And on top of that, you have state extended benefits, which have now been passed in most of the states, which extends your benefits further. So you have a lot of weeks of UI benefits. Don't worry about that. I really, really don't worry about that. The HEROES Act, which is currently in the Senate, proposes to give you additional weeks. PUA, you also have enough weeks. Don't worry about your number of weeks for PUA. You have 33 weeks of PUA from March to the future, at least. And the HEROES Act proposes to give you additional weeks. Let me get to some of your questions about PUA from yesterday right now. First, there are some really shocking details about what is going to happen with FPUC and PUA, and they come up in some of the questions. Lucero, do you think our PUA will be extended? My employer is still closed due to COVID-19. Yes, but you have 33 weeks. So if you started in March, you have 33 weeks since March, but I think it will be extended, absolutely. Jeff, LA, the unofficial title of this video should be Don't Mess Up the People. Thank you. And thank you for supporting this channel on a regular basis, Jeff. Beautiful vibe, dynamic. This is the one, meow. Big hugs and kisses, LA. Well, thank you. There's that plane heading to the Bahamas for your next stop on vacation, says Kevin Lee. You can hear in the background today. Charmaine, if you're on SSDI and someone files their tax returns for you, okay, so this is a second stimulus check question. I'll answer this later. Fennel, Harolyn. Hey, it's Harolyn. A longtime viewer just stopping and saying hello. Thank you. Wendy, when you get laid off and apply for unemployment, are you automatically supposed to receive the extra 600? I did not receive this, and I only received 178 each week. What do we do for the extra 600? Yes, so that's a great question, Wendy. The extra $600 comes to you automatically. You have to do nothing. So it comes sometimes separately. Comes sometimes, days later, weeks later. So don't worry about it. It does come separately. You have nothing to do. Yvette, I have no idea where I stand. I rented a beautiful home with the intent to utilize my business license. I use my home. Governor shut me down. I have this huge rental payment. I mean, it's like $6,500 a month. It's a mansion home. What can I do for rental assistance? Because the rental of a clause in the contract, may I use the rental for business purposes? I don't know what your business is, but ultimately, if you are self-employed, if you're an independent contractor and your business has been impacted by COVID-19, may have nothing to do with your rental operations, then you may qualify for PUA. Daniel, I've always advised people don't waste your stimulus or stimulus checks or salary. Tammy, is there anything for people like me that's on SSI, but I own my own home, I have to pay my taxes every year? Is there anything for me, like as far as any other help? Yes, rental assistance. So if you have a problem with if you have a mortgage, there's mortgage forbearances, which says that banks cannot foreclose on you. It depends on the state. You need to watch our 4th video on rental assistance. If you don't do anything else, then no, UI and PUA will not qualify for you. Shar's Health Tips. Thank you for the escalated benefits information. Oh, I appreciate it. Escalated benefits is very important. If you made over $30,000 last year, you qualify for escalated benefits. States don't want to pay it. They don't want to give you the money, but you do qualify for it, and viewers have gotten it on this channel. Annette, hello, everyone. Thank you, Annette. Beth Buckley, thank you, LA. Still waiting for approval and denial. Robin, I have a question. My kids and I were in Texas at the time the COVID was shut down. They were enrolled in Texas schools, but we relocated a week before April to Oregon. I homeschooled them here on the Texas curriculum. So do I apply for Oregon PUA or Texas PUA? Also, we moved so their dad, who lives in Oregon, could help with their care. That is a really hard one. I don't know the answer to it. Ultimately, you have to decide. You need to go on the Oregon website and look at what they say as the determining factor. RJ Chavez, thank you for your info, and you did a good job explaining more clearly. I hope we will be released the stimulus check soon. I do too. Laquila, what if I didn't make a lot, but I'm trying to get PUA for self-employment? Great question. Most states don't require you to make a lot. Some don't require you to make much at all. Some states require you to disclose 2019 earnings. Some don't. So I would go through the process. Bones. What if I had to work full-time job but had landscaping on the side until this stuff happened? My little business. Can I file for every on that side gig while holding a full-time job as well? You can, but they're going to ask about the full-time job. So you can be on PUA, but they'll ask about your W-2 income, and that will reduce your benefits. Ultimately, you could be reduced to zero for each respective week, but you still qualify. It depends on how much that W-2 made you. Lena, as a senior citizen's close, I'm the only daughter of a 96-year-old beautiful lady. I go to quarantine and help her so I'm taking care of them. I can't even work. So am I eligible for FPUC? No. You maybe qualify for hazard pay. Watch our hazard pay video. But no, you don't qualify because you're not, you have to have had a job as a W-2 to have UI, or you have to have had an independent contractor job for PUA. FPUC goes on top of one of the others. So if you have neither of them, there's nothing to get it from. Tyler, mine seems as though it's not claiming every week, and I'm behind 4 weeks. They're very backlogged. Vicky, my son's been looking for work at the beginning of the year. Can he apply for an unemployment and get the FPUC? Yes, absolutely. Roop Hatha, my regular UI benefits less than PUA minimum benefits. I keep on collecting my regular UI was less than PUA minimum benefits. Can I go back and file for PUA? No, no, no. And I think you're getting these terms confused. UI and PUA have the same level of base benefits. So if you're in California, for example, and you start on UI, you're at 167. If you're in California, you start on PUA, you start on 167. There's the same amount of money. FPUC is the $600 from the federal government. It's not PUA. So there's no way that your UI can be less than your PUA, and there's no way you can have UI and PUA. Wana, okay, why haven't I received my check since I was accepted for PUA since May? I file literally every week for certification, but nothing has come yet. Wana, in California, they don't come by checks. They come by debit card. You'll get a Bank America EDD debit card that gets sent to you. The debit card has the money on it. As you certify and every claim is approved, the money is on the debit card. If you haven't gotten the debit card, there's ways to apparently track the debit card and where it is with Bank America. Ms. Zaruda Mahum, extremely helpful information, but can you confirm politicians' remarks concerning USA perspective? Leah Backbear, well done. The alphabet soup totally is confusing. It is. These words are just so much. Destiny, I'm a guardian. I have a guardianship in school. She's 33. Do I qualify for PUA? If it's, ultimately you're asking, is your side business really a side business? I don't know. If you have a Schedule C on your tax return that lists that side business, then yes. But you have to have been impacted. Christina, can you talk about the taxes owed on UI and PUA? I will next year, where no one's taxes are due on UI or PUA yet. Fine it tune. What happened if I run out of my UI benefits and my balance is zero? Do I able to receive PUA? No. No, you don't go from UI to PUA, but your UI benefits should not have run out yet because you have your normal benefits, you have your extension from the federal government, FPUC, you have your state extended benefits, which have been extended in most states, so you should have enough weeks already. Maud G, great job. Well, thank you. Jewel, I recently reviewed that. I don't understand what this says. Owen, urgent question. My wife worked as a W-2 mortgage processor, income about $7,000 per month, after she made $4,000 a month, but no hours cut, base, and commission. How can she collect UI? So PUA, as you know, has an eligibility criterion that your hours were reduced by COVID-19. I don't think UI has that one. I mean, UI... Actually, no. I mean, she doesn't qualify. You're saying to me she's still working at her job, she just has less hours? No, that's not how UI works. So if you worked at Macy's before the pandemic at 40 hours a week, during the pandemic you're working at Macy's at 20... Well, that's a bad example because Macy's was not kept open during the pandemic. Let me say Home Depot. Home Depot, which never closed during the pandemic. Before the pandemic, you were making 40 hours a week at Home Depot as a W-2. During the pandemic, you were making 32 hours a week at Home Depot as a W-2. You do not qualify for anything. You don't qualify for PUA because you're a W-2, and you don't qualify for UI. A reduction of hours as a UI employee does not trigger unemployment assistance. It never does. It's only if she wasn't a W-2, she was an independent contractor. Adrian, if I'm getting state benefits and FPUC, do I qualify for PUA? I'm a nurse. I was affected by COVID-19. I drove to Uber on the side. How do I submit for benefits? So if you're getting state benefits and FPUC, then I guess you're saying you're getting unemployment assistance and FPUC, the $600 from the federal government, then you can't get PUA as well. You can't get UI and PUA together. You get one or the other. So if you were a nurse, that means I guess you're saying you were a W-2 nurse, and you got the $600 from the federal government on top of that. You can't get PUA as additionally. You can get hazard pay if that's passed. Watch our hazard pay bill. As always, drop your comments below. We may feature them in tomorrow's recording. Coming up, rental assistance and more. As always, stay with LALATE. As for this and other details, as the second stimulus check debate heats up.